Well, Carrie, what were some of the highlights of today's discussion for you?
Well, for me, and also something I just kept hearing over and over again, was how not only do we have representation from all around the world here, but the topics that we were discussing were so global too. You know, we heard about the Ethiopian forest churches, which I think are so fascinating, and we heard about Syriac women's voices in the early church and hymnography. We heard about the Synod of Iaşi and other Romanian issues, and that was something people kept saying to me, was that we had this marvelous diversity of representation from the past and the present of Orthodox themes and issues from all around the world. And that was really enjoyable.
Global issues and also a local touch.
Yes.
Cyril, what about you?
Well, I think today we had an ecclesiological day. We had 2 sessions dedicated to the phenomenon of the church, and it seems that both sessions were successful, judging at least from appearance and from the people who came. We had one session was by the younger theologians who presented their papers. Some of the, well, all of the papers, I would say, they were tremendous success. And then in the afternoon we had this session by kind of more, I don't know,
Experienced people.
Yeah, theologians who are more in the field, have worked in the field of ecclesiology for a long time, and it was also a good, I believe, a good session. What unites the 2 sessions, I believe, is not just the phenomenon of the church, because it has been discussed since the beginning of the beginning of the century of ecclesiology, what they call it, but a critical approach to the phenomenon of the church, what we've called critical ecclesiology. It seems that the time has come. It's a kairos, that the Orthodox began a serious conversation about the critical approach to some aspects of the church. We try to be analytical, we try to be critical, and try to be serious about the church, because criticism meaning to be serious about what we believe in and what we really value.
And this in many ways sums up the spirit of the conference for me, because I think IOTA is becoming a place in which a variety of well-informed voices can come together and confront each other. And sometimes there have been tensions, and sometimes there have been a real confrontation of different positions. So it's important to understand that IOTA doesn't stand for one particular ideological position within the church. Call it liberal, call it progressive, call it conservative. The important thing, we actually have people representing these views and positions without quite pigeonholing each other into those categories. So IOTA becomes a space in the church where a free exchange of ideas is possible.
I absolutely agree, and I just wanted to add to this that IOTA is not only a conference, just another theological conference, and has become a sort of conciliar event, if you want, in a sense, because indeed people of different persuasions, of different views on different theological issues came together, and they are not necessarily representing only one ideological streamline, but the variety of the entire spectrum of the views in the church, about theological issues, they came together. Their differences did not prevent them from conversations, but engaging with one another. And in the situation when we face kind of, yes, not exactly a split, but I call it a crack in the relations between particular local churches. It's important that theologians come together and
it's something that we've called conciliarity from below. Now, Carrie, you've also spoken to junior scholars in the morning.
That's right.
What are some takeaways for you?
Right. Well, I had breakfast this morning with a group of junior scholars, which was really enjoyable, and they were a very impressive group. And one of the stories that so impressed me is one of them shared that he had been experiencing a time of spiritual drought and difficulty, which many of us do, and that coming to this conference was in fact a renewal for him
Extraordinary.
of his time of being here.
Yeah.
And building on what you were saying, that spirit of conciliarity and the bringing together of these different tensions and opinions. Today I have also heard the word hope used several times in that context. In that context, when you have, a group of dedicated and brilliant people coming together who are working for the church, even if they may be coming from different places and have different ideas, but still, that's why we are all here. That generates.
That's extraordinarily
Yes.
valuable to all of us, in a sense, because IOTA is not meant exclusively as a place where intellectuals exchange ideas. IOTA is meant to be also a place where a kind of a regeneration, a rejuvenation of the church happens, and maybe people with nominal faith or faith that for a while, as you mentioned, was not properly fed, could perhaps become alive. And so, nothing could be more valuable than what you just mentioned. Now, we also had an exhibit, an icon exhibit today. And perhaps, Cyril, you could comment on.
Right, yes, we had a chance to visit an amazing exhibition of religious articles at the local metropolia of Iaşi. I was really surprised by how well they've done the museum. Actually, it's not a very common thing that the religious museums, especially run by the church, are done in a good style.
It
Yes.
was mentioned that this is the youngest museum in Romania, and we are the youngest organization
Wow.
in the Orthodox Church.
Exactly, and it is probably the youngest. It is one of the most beautiful,
Yes.
indeed.
Agreed.
Indeed.
And at the same time, we had this permanent exhibition of the religious items coming from Romania, especially from this area. But also we had the exhibition of icons brought from Ukraine, which is also an interesting as a concept. It's a sort of conceptual art, if you want, modern art, but it relies on the ancient patterns of the Byzantine and ancient Slavonic art. This is an exhibition of icons which have been painted by Ukrainian artists, a couple actually, an artist and his wife, and they what they do is they take boxes from ammunition which had been used in the eastern front of Ukraine. Literally boxes from the artillery shells, and they transform those boxes into pieces of art. They just paint icons on one of the sides of the boxes, and what is important, they help in this way, because they sell some of those icons. They help in this way the charitable work of a movable hospital, which is the largest charitable volunteer organization operating in the Eastern Front, non-governmental, and their purpose is to bring doctors to the eastern front line and to offer medical help to the soldiers, but also to the local people.
So, as you put it, and you wonderfully, very eloquently put it, it is the icon itself bears two sides. It bears the side revealing the reality of war, and it also bears the side revealing the beauty of God, through which then the world is transformed. Carrie, would you like to perhaps?
I found the exhibit stunning, and just that transfiguration, which is what we're really all called to do as human beings, and to see that embodied in those icons and those works of art was just profoundly moving.
And this is our hope for IOTA, that it will participate in the Church's work of theosis and deification of the Church, of society, and indeed of the whole world. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. I hope that IOTA will be that bridge that will connect sometimes trenches, in different ecclesiastical battles and quarrels and so forth, will transform the spirit of contesting to the spirit of peace, spirit of reconciliation, and it is already doing its work.
Thank you.
Thank you.